Welcome to the Mike Francesa podcast on the Bet Rivers Network, brought to you by Casamigos Tequila. Casamigos Tequila is brought to you by those who drink it. We come to you after just another rotten, awful Jet loss, this time 23-17 to the Vikings in London, a game that started off miserably and then watched the Jets rally and then ended miserably. I would have come down and done this if they had won the game. I am so disillusioned with their approach. I am so disgusted with what I'm watching. I understand it is not in any way a proper thing to even consider. But I am so disgusted by what I watch with this team that I would actually, and I know they won't do it, but I would actually consider making a change, a couple of changes this early in the season. And it's not early because they were 2-1. They lost 2 games they could have won. One they should have won, one they easily could have won. And now they're 2-3 as the Bills will come to town after they play Houston today. They will come to town next Monday night. 2-3 right now for this team, which could easily, without even any imagination, be 4-1. And as I said, if you want to properly build a football team, it makes no sense to change coaches during the season. A lot of head coaches don't even want to be involved. They don't have their coaching staff. We've been through it. I've been through it because I got asked about it more than once. But I have to tell you, I can't watch it anymore. It really is that hard to just watch. I mean, week after week, they continue to just make the worst mistakes. It didn't cost them this game, but how do you get a delay game on first down there? It just never stops with this team. Penalties, bad play calling. And they had a chance to win this game, and their defense played well today. I'm not going to take anything away from it. It played well. They hit 2 bomb field goals. They got a pick 6. They got 3 picks. I mean, when do you see Aaron Rodgers turn the ball over on consecutive downs, throw a pick 6, or throw 3 interceptions? I mean, usually you can't see that in an entire year. You saw all those today. And you also saw the most inaccurate Aaron Rodgers I've ever seen. Now, clearly, he's got leg problems right now. He came into the game with a leg problem. He might have both legs bothering him now. He's having trouble throwing the ball while off balance. In the past, he's always been able to throw the ball from any position and be deadly accurate. That he doesn't have that gift anymore. He needs to get himself moving in the right direction, properly set up, like most normal quarterbacks. Being as gifted as he was, he could throw the ball from any position and put it on a dime, and he still makes some unbelievable throws. There's just now a lot of erratic throws which you've just never seen before. Actually, in the first half today, I was saying, who the heck is in this uniform? That does not in any way look like Aaron Rodgers. That's how bad he was throwing the football today. But here's the problem. They cannot continue. And I would have come down and said this if he had hit Hall or hit Conklin or hit Williams or hit anybody in the end zone for a touchdown and won the game by a point. I would have come down and made the same statement. They have to make wholesale changes now or they are going nowhere. They cannot run the football. They cannot throw the football down the field. The lack of communication between Rodgers and his receivers is so bad that you'd almost think they had not seen each other more than for a day or two. it looks like what you see from a young quarterback. That's how bad it is. Now, in the last play, it wasn't a case of miscommunication. That was a case of Williams with the play designed for him to make an in cut. He was held off by the defender, Gilmore, who I think committed pass interference, but be that as it may, I'm not going to sit here and lobby for pass interference call because who cares? The point is, you cannot, if you're Williams in that spot, you cannot, knowing that ball is going to be thrown to a spot, you cannot allow the defender to reroute you. You cannot, and he kept him from cutting inside. He got the inside track and got the football and got the interception. Gilmore's been doing that for a long time. The bottom line is he is the culprit there. He cannot allow that to happen. He's strong enough to keep that from happening. It happens. It goes down as his third interception, and more importantly, they lose the game. Lose the opportunity to get the ball in the end zone. I would not have called the one timeout he called there, because if he had left 50 seconds on the clock with Donald's arm, and he has a very strong arm. He didn't have a good game today, but he has a very, very strong arm. And Jefferson, who, if you breathe on him, you're getting a flag. I would not have wanted them to leave any time on the clock up one if they had scored, because Jefferson would have caught a pass down the field or gotten pass interference. I mean, he gets so many pass interference calls, it's ridiculous. The one on the 24-yard play in the third quarter was a terrible call. That was even past being a superstar call. But here's where they are. The offense is nowhere. They don't have an offense. When do you expect to see a team run by Aaron Rodgers that cannot throw the football down the field? That if it runs a play fake, if it runs a basic play action pass, that play takes too long and he gets pounded and sacked. The only way he gets rid of the ball upright is by going to the quick passing game, which means he gets rid of the ball basically inside 2.5 seconds. He goes to the quick passing game. He does it a lot, gets the ball out, and boom. That's how he stays upright. Every time they went to a play fake, he got hit or sacked. They can't run the ball at all. And this is with a guy that we all thought, and I'm right at the top of the list, so I'll take the hit for this one. I thought Hall was going to have an enormous season. He is having a dreadful season. Wilson isn't having a good season. Hall's having a dreadful season. And Rodgers is having, for him, a dreadful season. Is that on them? Hey, it's got their names on it. But it all leads to the same place. You put the offense in the hands of a man who is completely inept. I know that despite his lousy record, and despite the fact that he has taken this team right down the chute, you can just see it. And I'm telling you, if I were the owner, Saleh wouldn't be the coach anymore. In season, I can't look at it anymore. I just can't watch the same garbage week in and week out. I wouldn't touch the defensive coordinator. I wouldn't touch his staff. But I would get rid of Saleh because he's not a head coach anyway. If he wants to take a demotion to defensive coordinator, he can stay. He can't be the head coach. He can't run the team. Because there has to be a new order for this team. There has to be an accountability for this team. And I would immediately fire the offensive coordinator. Immediately. Goodbye. Enough already. I don't care what Rodgers. I'm going to sit down with Rodgers and say, oh, really? You like throwing 3 interceptions? You like getting hit on every play action fake? You like the fact that your career isn't going to look like the same career if you keep this guy? You're out. I'm making the decision. You're not. And I would turn around and I would listen to Rodgers on who we wanted. And if we could agree on a guy who's available, I'd go get him. If not, I would go get Frank Reich tomorrow. and put him in charge of the offense. I cannot let this guy run this offense anymore. Just realize, folks, they are not running a real offense with Aaron Rodgers and Hall and Wilson and Williams and a Hall of Fame left tackle. They are not running an NFL offense. They can't run the ball. They can't throw it down the field. They are running a quick passing game. Dink, dunk, dink, dunk, dink, dunk. And that's how they get points. And let's be honest, they're not scoring a lot of points. They put up some points on New England. Other than that, they haven't done anything. And today, you got a terrific pick. And the defense, after the first drive, 2 drives, the defense played great. Give the defense credit. It played great. It played great even when Gardner was out of the game, and I thought Gardner had a lousy game. He had 3 penalties, which is too many, and he had an absolute lock interception in the end zone, which he's got to make. You're supposed to be an all-pro. You got to catch that ball. Not maybe catch it. You have to catch it. I don't want to hear how great you are if you can't catch that ball. You have to make plays. That's what makes you a top player. Yes, you're playing against a great receiver. I understand that. That if you breathe on him, but you have to play it the right way. And their overall defense structure today was good. They did a good job. Now, big key in the game. And don't minimize it. When Aaron Jones went out, it changed their whole game plan. And they didn't have him the whole second half. They didn't have him from the middle of the second quarter on. And that changed who they are because he's a very versatile, very valuable player. So that was a big factor in this game. But I can't look at this offense anymore. I watched Denver blitz it last week and hold it to 9 points. I watched today as, again, they could only run quick passing game, nothing else. They can't run they're not running a real NFL offense. And you're talking about you have an all-world quarterback. Yes, he's older, but he's still capable of making plays. And you have talent on the offense, and the offense is dreadful. And it commits a ton of penalties, and it doesn't know what the heck it's doing, and it's still getting delay of games. It is not going to get better. They won't change anything because Woody's not smart enough to do that. He's just not. From a football standpoint, he is not smart enough or bold enough. You'd have to be an owner who's got a clue, and he doesn't. And that organization doesn't know how to do anything right. You still have Reddick on the outside. They can't do anything to make the team better from a GM standpoint. And you're watching this team being coached into the abyss. This is a crisis right now. It isn't a little problem. And it would have been the same problem if the field goal last week was good. And it would have been the same problem if they had stuck the ball in the end zone by somehow somebody holding on to the ball on one of these plays. And listen, Lazard had a touchdown he dropped. Conklin could have made a great catch there. That ball was right there. I understand he was between 2 guys, but he got his hands both on the ball. If he tumbles into the end zone with the ball, it's a touchdown. Didn't happen. That's fine. I'm not giving them a hard time on that. But you're allowed to make great catches. The ball was right there both times. And I would like to see Wilson be able to keep his feet. Why is he always falling down? He falls down more than anybody. A young player who's a dynamic player, why is he always losing his feet? I mean, it drives you absolutely crazy. But they need a leadership change, and they need it desperately. Or I'm telling you, they aren't going near 10 wins, and they aren't going near the playoffs because they're fighting an uphill battle from a coaching standpoint every single week. From the mistakes, from the general lack of preparation, from the accountability that is so lacking. You can't allow guys to continue to make the same mistakes. And who are you kidding? You can't beat a good defense with this offense right now. It's impossible. You can only run quick passing game. That's all you can do. You can't do anything else. Cannot run the ball with two good running backs. And listen, I don't know what's going on with Hall. I'm sure he's tired of getting hit in the backfield. But today, they ran the ball 14 times for 36 yards. This is the NFL. 14 times for 36 yards. And that's an improvement from last week. Rodgers today averaged 4.5 yards per attempt. 4.5 yards per attempt. Okay? A good year in Green Bay is, 7.8, 8.2, 4.5. They can't get the ball down the field. It's quick pass, everything underneath, catch it, maybe you could break a tackle. Oh, yeah, we're going to throw it underneath, try and break a tackle. I'm going to dump it to Hall here on first and goal. I'm going to dump it to Wilson on second and goal. Maybe he can break a tackle. Everything is break a tackle, yards after catch, trying to do anything. You can't do that. You have to be able to take the field in chunks. Lazard had 4 catches. First of all, he was targeted 10 times. He caught 4 balls for 34 yards. Wilson caught 13 passes. That's a heck of a lot of passes. He was targeted 22 times. For 100 yards, that's 7 yards an attempt. 7 yards an attempt. Jefferson today, on a slow day, was 15.3 an attempt. Jones was 24. Their tight end was 15.5 an attempt for a catch. When they caught the ball, per catch, 15 yards, 20 yards, not 7, 6, 5. Everything is thinking dump because it's got to be quick passing, because if he doesn't go quick passing, he gets sacked. And they can't run the ball at all. Their star running back today ran the ball 9 times for 23 yards. 9 for 23. Here's a perfect example. If you have Hall, who was in every game, fantasy game, and I don't talk fantasy, but this is just to make a point. He was in the top 4 or 5 picks in every game this year, everywhere. He was off the board in the first 5 guys. And rightly so. Next week, I don't think anybody's going to be playing him anywhere. You can't play him anymore. He's not doing anything. Not doing anything. Yeah, he was going to catch the ball great. I even made the point he was going to catch the ball great. You know what he's done so far? 3 catches today for 14 yards. 3 for 14. 9 for 23 running the ball. They have no running game. They have no down the field passing game. And all they can run is quick passing offense. That's it. And that is not the way you play this game. Plus all the ridiculous penalties, plus the general lack of accountability. I'm telling you, if it were my team, I would get rid of the head coach tomorrow. I know they won't do that. And I would absolutely take the offensive chores away from Hackett. It's over. I don't care what Rodgers says. I say to Rodgers, you want to keep throwing on 3 interceptions and be limping? You want to be on crutches in 2 weeks? and be throwing 3 picks? Want to be throwing pick sixes all over the building? Or you want to get back to playing football? Enough of this. I can't watch it anymore. And it's not, if you think it's going to get better, it's not. It's not. We talked all preseason, all offseason, all preseason. What scares you about the Jets? They had to fix the offensive line. They did. They screwed up the defensive line because they got rid of guys. They let other guys leave, and then they make a trade for Reddick. Huff's gone. He's not doing anything in Philly, but that doesn't help them. All right, Johnson and Mosley got hurt. I understand that. Those are 2 key guys that got hurt. Defense, I thought today did an admirable job, played very well. They can coach the defense. I never said they couldn't. They can coach, except for the penalties, they can coach the defense. But the offense has to change. It has to be put under someone else's strong hands immediately, or this will not stop. First of all, Rodgers won't finish the season. Taylor will be quarterbacking in the next 2 weeks or 3 weeks. He's not going to last. One of these hits is going to be goodbye. I'm surprised it hasn't been already. They need to make a big move. If they don't, you watch. Before you know it, it won't even be anything to discuss as far as division title or playoffs or anything else. It won't be anything like you expected. And then the clock is just ticking on a guy who's about to become 41 years old, a quarterback. 2 and 3. It has to change now. Not 2 weeks from now, not 3 weeks from now. You've already lost games that should not have been lost. How do you lose a game to Denver when you allow 10 points at home and you lose the game? And then today, what did Minnesota get? 1 touchdown, 3 field goals, of which 2 of them were 53 and 54 yards. And the other touchdown was a pick six. They didn't move the ball an inch except for the 1 drive for the last field goal, which went from 3 to 6. They didn't move the ball an inch in the second half. So kudos to the defense for what they did. I thought the defensive game plan was good. I thought the defense played well. But you're playing now with a team that never, ever makes anybody accountable for their mistakes, continues to make incredible mistakes, commit terrible penalties, and then you have an offense that is completely broken. Fix it now. If you don't, you're going nowhere. We'll see you later today.